Honorable delegates, distinguished presidency, dear friends. 98% of refugees are climate refugees. This figure has been on constant rise for more than 20 years. I would like to ask the audience, how many of you are involved in decision-making process in your countries regarding refugees? Please raise your hands. Like 2 or 3, 5, 6 people. You see, almost nobody from this group. Really small part of this group. Every time you switch on your television or your radio, you can hear or see the pictures from Ukraine or from Syria. But ladies and gentlemen, do you know that climate change is causing more refugees than armed conflicts? So it is clear this issue should be tackled. We are the young people, and we are those who will live in this world in the future. Tomorrow is being built today, but the situation is not as dire as it may appear to you. But if we want to prepare a solution, we have to think about sustainability. Arrangements, regulations, conventions, everything that can be written on the paper we have. On the paper, we solved every problem of the world. All we have to do now is to solve the real world. Dali once said, "I don't take drugs, I'm the drug." I can say, we don't need the solution, we are the solution. I started with a boring percentage, so I will end with boring percentage. 52% of young people, of the people in the planet Earth are young people below 30 years of age. So without these people, without the majority, you cannot have a solution. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.
"56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Can you hear it? It's ticking. The clock is ticking. The climate change is real, and it is happening right now, around us, all the time. We are all part of the problem. Let's take the responsibility. Let's become part of the solution too. It is high time for action. But that demands one very simple, yet so complex step. We have to work as one in the world full of diversity. The world is not one majority, but rather an abundance of national, ethnic, language, religious, sexual, gender minorities, etc. And in order to work as one, we have to be equal. Honorable jury, fellow delegates, we are young. You might even sometimes hear unexperienced, but we have the right to inclusive and comprehensive education, access to information and participation in society. Only empowered, educated and independent youth can raise the voice. What we often face is the governing body, team of experts and decision makers who prepare a policy. Then they find a group of young people and ask about their opinion. Don't let them. Youth has to be involved from the very beginning till the problem is solved. We must be part of initiative, part of decision making, part of policy preparation and part of final evaluation. Only by doing that we can be equal. Only by doing that we can prosper in the rapidly changing society. Because the world around us is not black and white. It is colorful. Thank you.
Distinguished presiding officers, dear delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite you to look around yourself and think about the diversities of backgrounds, identities of the people sitting next to you. The world is currently facing one of the biggest challenges ever. Crisis in Syria, Lebanon, Iraq, and other countries in the region is affecting youth all around the world, but especially those who left with no home, no family, no opportunities for education, and most of all, no faith for a better tomorrow. More than ever before, we need united youth to share responsibility and contribute to the better future. And this is where our contribution is needed. 2 years ago, we welcomed hundreds of young people here in Paris and promised to work on reducing the global poverty and unemployment, to create more opportunities for education, civic engagement, and democratic participation. Today, we need to be committed more than ever to the common goals, and more united in our wish to change the world for better. A month ago in New York, the leaders of the world agreed on sustainable development goals. With a wide mandate, they are also the ultimate tool to address issues of identity and diversity in a global world. This is where the role of UNESCO is crucial. UNESCO is the institution which can help us deal with clashes of different identities through intercultural dialogue, global citizen education, and education for sustainable development. Conflict resolution is also deeply connected to solving one of the greatest problems humanity has ever faced: climate change. While it may be true climate change is a factor that contributes to conflict, we should also see it as a challenge that can unite the people of the world to repair the planet we're all sharing together. This December, the people of the world are gathering here in Paris to end the war on something that has never been attempted before: a comprehensive, ambitious climate treaty involving everyone. What is at stake is nothing less than the fate of the future. This is why we, global youth that are not representing ourselves, but the future generations, we must send a clear message to the leaders of the world. We need deep emission cuts. We need financial support and capacity building for the poorest who are the most affected. We need a new paradigm of a green economy where the youth become new workers, entrepreneurs, and innovators for a sustainable future. Because we are all responsible. Because it always seems impossible until it's done. Because young people are drivers of our development, our progress, our future. So together, let's act upon it. Thank you.
Is the crucial factor of sustainable development. I want to show you our approach of our why, how, and when we want to do education. Let's shape the future together. Well, why? You may ask, why should we engage with sustainable development, especially with education? There's a simple explanation of it. It concerns each one of us. Well, the other one is the how. How can we do it? How can we shape the future together on sustainable development? As I mentioned before in the introduction, it's education. But how exactly can we shape the education? It's first of all by qualitative teaching, which includes vulnerable people such as girls and women, disabled people, or other things than more inclusiveness, inclusive education, which takes an access to each and one of us. And the other thing is, we also want to have safe learn spaces where no one has mental, physical, or sexual harassment or violence. Furthermore, it's important that we promote non-formal education. Especially political participation is a key area where we have to emphasize on it. Well, there leaves one more question, which I opened in the introduction. The when. It's simply now. To sum it all up, why concerns each of one of us. How, I just mentioned, we already forgot, but it's important. And when, now. And to end already with a quote which my fellow pre-area speaker mentioned, it's impossible until it's done. Thank you.
Dear male panel, fellow revolutionaries, how many of you, except for the panel of course, received an A4 paper with 2 words that were actually necessary for the message they were meant to convey, for the Wi-Fi password and the username? It's probably all of you. That paper is not only just a complex physical object, it is also a symbol of how much we have talked about how much less we should talk and how much more we should act. It also symbolizes how constructive and how important criticism and applying pressure for those who decide could be. So my speech here to you is an invitation to rebeldom. When we were making the speech with my lovely group, we saw that political activism and taking action, applying pressure for those who decide, is the only way to create the world that we actually want. And it starts from really small things. It starts from a much more greener preparatory meeting. It starts with making those who decide a bit more uncomfortable. It starts with choosing the things that could be improved upon and pointing fingers at those who decide. That sort of finger pointing seems extreme at first, but if we know what is wrong, we can also improve upon it. I know you all here want to go to Paris already and want to speak, but if I invite you to action, it would be to apply pressure to craft the big, shiny, beautiful diamond that would be a sustainable environment with a happy group of people living upon this beautiful planet. Thank you.